Hello, this is Thomas, K4SWL. If you're new here, I like to do real-time, real-life amateur radio field activation videos, and today I am at South Mountains State Park. It's a beautiful, beautiful day today. Hardly a cloud in the sky. It's July 6th, 2023 when I'm recording this. It is incredibly humid though. You can't tell that on the video, but boy is it humid. And in fact, the ground is pretty darn wet right now. I got out of the car and I had the air conditioner on in the car. Not on very high, it was just on like normal. I stepped out of the car and it's so humid, my sunglasses fogged up immediately. So the humidity must be like 100% right now. But I'm okay with that. It's a beautiful day. I've got maybe about an hour to do an activation right now, maybe slightly longer than that. And I thought I'd do one of my getting to know you videos today. If you're not familiar, because I've only done like one so far, my getting to know you videos are ones where I focus on radios that are in my permanent radio collection and kind of give you my own personal thoughts and feelings about that radio, having owned it for a long time, used it a long time in the field, that sort of thing. So it's not necessarily a review. I kind of in my mind separate reviews out. When I write reviews for publications, which I do quite a lot of these days, I take a very wide-angle approach to it. So I kind of try to see that radio from a bunch of different points of view. You know, maybe from the standpoint of a field operator, SOTA, POTA, IOTA, to someone who just operates in the shack, someone who only operates one mode, someone who is a contester or a DXer or a traveler. You know, try to look at it from all those perspectives and present that in a review. This, the Getting to Know You series, is more just about things that I've noticed and that I like about a particular radio. And today we're going to talk about the Icom IC-705, which I've packed away over here. And in this section, what we'll do is do the Getting to Know You section, talk about it for probably 10-15 minutes, and then we'll actually hop in and do an activation with that radio. And you can kind of see how it performs. Although I've got a bunch of videos of the IC-705 in action, just like I do all the rest of these that'll be in this series. So first today, to kind of get things going though, I came out here and there's only one picnic table at the Clear Creek access, and man, somebody came out here and really made a mess. I want to believe that they didn't know what they were doing and they left all this crap behind, but there's a bunch of trash on the ground and I don't like this. So the first thing I'm going to do is get out one of my nitrile gloves and put up this trash. Then what we'll do is go ahead and throw an antenna up in one of these tree limbs here. I don't know which one yet, but I'm going to deploy a 40-meter in-fed half wave. We'll do the Getting to Know You section, and then we'll do the activation. If you're new here, I do not edit my videos really. There are different sections to the videos, but I don't really edit them. What I do try to do is put in chapters. So if you're on YouTube, hover your cursor over the, or your mouse over the timeline, and you should see chapters pop up. And if you want to skip sections, you can skip them, do whatever you want to do. But I don't edit my videos, so they're all kind of real-time, real life, as if you're here with me in real life. So yeah, first thing though, let's pick up some of this trash. I want to get this done. I hate this stuff and I don't want it out here. I always bring like a glove or something with me to do this. I don't know why I'm including this in the video, but mainly just to kind of remind people that it's okay to pick up other people's garbage to get it out of our public lands and parks. So I'll do my best here, but always I brought my nitrile glove for this. I always keep a bunch of these in my first aid kit in the car, so got plenty to do this. And we're going to pick this stuff up real quick. I may speed this up on the video though. Now what really bugs me about this is the trash can's right there. This person left a ton of cigarette butts here too. Cigarette butts. Bringing this along because I see more trash along the way here, but for the life of me, I don't understand why people do this. Okay. And I'm just gonna give away, whoops, that nitrile glove. There we go. Much better. Okay, now let's launch the antenna. This gives me kind of a nice view of where I can put the antenna. Now, what I'd like to do is put the antenna right there, or even right there. But the problem is that's right in the middle of the path. So I don't actually think that's a good idea. But I want to get some height on this one. I want this to nearly be a vertical antenna. And I'm trying to decide, without stepping on too much poison ivy here, if I could maybe get it in one of those higher limbs right there. I won't really know until I try, right? Or possibly one of these. Maybe that would work. Yeah, maybe I could. Boy, that's really high though. That may be about as high as I can possibly do one. But hey, let's give it a go. Let's try and see if I can make that work. Ah, boy, I don't know if I can make this. I don't know if I can make it to where you can see this when I try, but I'm going to give it a go here. Hopefully you can catch some of this in the video. Unfortunately, I've just got my small camera tripod with me today, so I don't have my larger one. So let's see what happens. Not quite. Missed it by probably that much. It's going to be challenging to get up that high. Just this. Let's try it from this angle here. Nope. What was that, third or fourth time's the charm? I get it up fine. It's in an acceptable branch, I think. No, I don't know. That looks like it's awfully close to the end of that branch. No, it'll do it. It'll do it. I can make that work. Not quite a vertical. So what I was trying to do is hit one of these branches here. It is really at the just... I missed it by probably 7 feet or so from hitting that. And that was with putting a pretty good swing on it. Now, this is a super easy tree to put a line in. It's just that I was trying to go for a really high branch. And you know what? I'm going to go one more time because I think what I'm going to do is try to hit this branch right here. I think that'll give me good height. It'll keep things away from the path and should work out okay. I'm going to show you something though. Don't learn from Thomas here. See how close this came to my reading glasses when it fell? Normally, and you may have noticed I put my radio underneath the picnic table. As hard as this comes down, I'm not too worried about it damaging things when they're in my pack necessarily, but my glasses, it could have taken out my glasses for sure. So let's go ahead and try this one more time, trying to go for one of these branches right here. It may be a waste of time to try, but I've got the time, and I gotta be honest, this is kind of fun. I love doing this. And those of you who use throw lines probably get it. It's just kind of a fun thing to do. It adds another little uncertain thing to your activation. So here we go. Let me put the camera down, and hopefully again you can see stuff, if I get this or not. Okay, here we go. Let's see. Here we go. Yeah, much better. Much better. It's much easier to go for like a branch that's diagonal or horizontal like this than to go for one that's really on the vertical almost. So a lot harder to go for. So this will be great. This will work fine. The other would have worked too. The antenna I'm using is super lightweight, so there's no reason why that wouldn't have worked, but yeah, I'm just getting picky. Okay, let's grab the antenna real quick. Put it up. Let's see if you can see this. Here we go. I won't blame you if you skip over all this. Let's grab this antenna out. This is my MM0 OPX 40 meter infrared half wave. I used it yesterday, packed it, and so I thought, well, I'll just use it today again. And we should be in good shape. Now what I'll do, you'll notice I just did a figure 8 wind on my fingers with that. I didn't have a winder with it. It actually is much faster to deploy it doing it that way. And what I'll do is use this big stick, come out here, drag the line out a little bit so that the, I don't have it in an inverted V position or anything like that, but just put a little bit of weight on it. There we go. And that puts it about exactly where I want it right there. Yeah, I think that's the thing about the throw line. I get a real thrill out of doing this. It's kind of fun. So maybe one of the reasons I like using them so much. One of my one of my subscribers and readers in Montana, he kind of jokes with me about calling me one throw Tommy. And it's true that probably 80% of the activations I do, I can get the line in the tree on one throw. That's when I just really don't care and I'm just trying to get it up there and get the antenna deployed. When I get picky about what I'm doing, when I'm going for a particular branch, or I'm trying to go really high like I was doing back over here, then it can take longer. But it's kind of fun trying. It's just, I find it really fun. So I don't mind doing it. Okay, let's set up. Boy, this thing's wet. Let's get the feed line out. Here we go. All right, let's sit on this wet bench now. And let's try to get going here. I got the antenna in place. Now let's talk about this radio. The Icom IC-705. So I've been keeping this, when I have it packed away in my backpack, in this, what's it called, an ape case. Just a little DSLR, camera insert. And it works really, really well for this, actually. But it's not protected on all sides perfectly or anything like that, but it works really well. And what key will I use today? Let's see. I keep getting text messages. Who am I getting text messages from? Let's see here. What key? I think I'll use this little guy, my CNC machined key. Okay, I'm gonna turn off my notifications. This is driving me crazy. If you know me, I hate text messages. And phone calls for that matter. I'm kind of a little old curmudgeon when it comes to those things. Okay, let's get a key out. Our key line here. Let's use this. We'll set this up and let's talk about the radio here a little bit. Okie doke. So this is the Icom IC-705 transceiver, and I'll tell you the story about how I got this one. Not that it's that fascinating or anything. I'll tell you how I got it. Basically, I do reviews for publications, and mainly the Spectrum Monitor magazine and Radcom with the RSGB. And I had already decided I was going to do a review of the IC-705 for the Spectrum Monitor. And this radio had been announced a few months in advance, and people were speculating about it, how good it would be, if it would be worth the money, what the price would be, everything. There were just a few preliminary teaser images, I think, from the Tokyo Ham Fair from the previous year, if memory serves. I really thought after the pandemic that we wouldn't be seeing this radio for a while because this came out in 2020, which was like right in the middle of the COVID pandemic, and it just brought supply chains and everything to just a halt. But sure enough, they brought this out, I think, in August or so of 2020, and I had originally signed up to simply have a loaner sent to me from Icom. But I knew that Icom would take a while to get it to me. And frankly, I had nothing else going on in my world. This was during the pandemic. And I thought, it looks like a pretty cool radio. Let's just go ahead and buy it. And it was a big chunk of change then. It was about $1,300. I think it was like maybe $29.95 or something. And but I thought, let's just go ahead and give it a go and see what we think about it. And so I did. I bought this at Universal Radio for, I think, $1,300 at the time, knowing that probably within a year the price would fall by 10% or more, which it didn't do because of the pandemic and the chip shortage and all those other things. The price actually went up. And so that really kind of changed things with this radio. And the price is now almost closer to $1,400. It's like $1,380, I think, last time I checked. $1,370, $1,380, something like that. So it actually went up a little bit, but not too much. It's a hefty price to pay for a radio, but I would argue that it's worth it because it's a wonderful radio. And I bought it fully intending that I would do my review, hang on to it for a little bit, maybe 6 months, and then sell it. And I thought, I'll probably be able to sell it and get the bulk of my money back, from the purchase. Well, turned out that the radio really grew on me, like almost immediately. In fact, I got this radio out. I put it on the air. I took it to a park and did an activation, and I immediately knew then that I would not be able to let go of this radio. It was just too nice and great. So what is it that I love about the Icom IC-705? Let's kind of go over some of the features that I love. Now, again, this is not a full review of the radio. This radio has been out for a long time. I'm just giving you my own personal beliefs about the radio and, things I love about it. So what I love about the 705, first of all, is that it is an incredibly good performer. When I first put this on the air and I turned it on, the audio sounded amazing. And you can listen to this if I can pull up something here. The audio just sounds wonderful to me. It has a front-facing speaker right here, and it sounds great for a single sideband. It sounds great for CW. If you want to listen to digital modes while you're operating, it sounds great for that. It even sounds great for shortwave radio broadcasters. And let's see if I can actually do, if I go to general coverage and let's see here. What I may do is just try to find something here. I don't know if there's anything on right now. I don't know what oh no, that's probably it. May move down to like WWV or something. Let's just do frequency input. Oh, wait. I do this so little.
At the time, 13 hours, 58 minutes, Coordinated Universal Time. At the time, 13 hours, 58 minutes, Coordinated Universal Time.
Oh, wow. We're hearing WWVH along with WWV here. So that's Hawaii and Fort Collins, Colorado. But it sounds fantastic on the broadcast bands. That had me too because I'm a shortwave radio listener, and I really enjoyed the fact that I could just hop on and listen and have a really nice quality general coverage radio. So that really kind of sold me. That, and it even has built-in recording. You can actually record audio very easily. Not only can you record, but you can play back files, and they actually have timestamps on the files, and it's just great. And there's a little micro SD card in here. That's wonderful. I haven't heard WWVH. I haven't heard WWVH with WWV in quite a while.
This is radio station WWVH in Hawaii, broadcasting on internationally allocated standard stereo frequencies of 2.5, 5, 10, and 15 megahertz, providing time of day, standard time intervals, and other related information.
Sorry, the shortwave radio nerd in me has to listen to this. But so it was a great broadcast band receiver. And the other thing about it too is it also has FM radio. So you can listen to FM stations. And now I don't have an FM antenna on here right now. And I cannot play, unfortunately I cannot play audio from this because YouTube will mark it as a copyright violation or something, so I can't really play this on the FM dial like this. But if you hook a proper FM broadcast band antenna up to this, it is an incredible FMDX machine. It really is. I know FMDXers that love this radio for that very reason. Of course, we also have all of the, like the VHF band, the 2-meter band, and 70 centimeters. We have all of that built into the radio. So it's 160 through 10, plus 6 meters, plus 2 meters, plus 70 centimeters. And it's multi-mode, as multi-mode as you can make a radio. It has AM, FM, single sideband, CW, digital modes, like digital upper sideband, lower sideband. And it also has D-Star, so it has digital voice modes as well. So you can operate full D-Star with this radio. I mean, really, there's just like almost nothing this radio can't do spectrum-wise. It really kind of takes advantage of the full spectrum, and it's kind of amazing, to be honest. The other thing I liked about it was I was skeptical at first. Now, I'll be honest, when a new radio comes out, I'm not publicly skeptical about anything unless I see a very obvious design flaw up front. I never saw that really with the 705 anyway. But a lot of people were super skeptical about the battery pack, the screen, the cost, everything else. The only thing I was really kind of concerned about was the screen itself not being visible or viewable in full sunlight outdoors. But this screen has kind of a matte finish. It's not a capacitive touchscreen, it's a pressure touchscreen, and it actually works really well. Even in videos and stuff, it's not always, in fact, this is reminding me to try to check this to make sure my polarization's good here, but it is. You see more of a glare in a video than you'll see in real life. On this, super easy to read, no problem at all. I also thought that this big screen would wear down the battery too quickly, but it does not seem to be the case. It operates for quite a long time on the battery, and that's another thing I really love about this radio is this battery pack right here. I won't remove it now because I've got it on. This is an HT battery pack, and that's what these accept. This is the one that came with the radio. I do plan to get a higher capacity one soon. It's the same battery pack you would find with the Icom ID 51A, possibly the 52 may use the same one, I'm not sure. I thought there's just no way that this thing's going to power the radio for a long time, but I did a video when I first got it, and by golly, you can run for a really long time on this battery if you're operating 5 watts or less, which is the only thing you can really do when you have the battery pack in. It'll do 5 watts or less. If you have it plugged up to an external 12-volt source, then it'll do 10 watts or less. Me being a QRPer and a 5-watt operator, hey, that's great for me. I love that. I never really need to plug in a battery to this. I do have one here with me today because I can see here that my battery indicator's down to about 2/3 right now. And that's because I've used this radio already finished. I did like half of an activation or something with it. It's possible I may need to plug the battery into this before I finish the activation today, depending on how things go. But yeah, it's just fantastic. How well it works with this battery pack. And the really cool thing about the battery pack is that I can charge it with a micro USB connector. So if you're a traveler, like I am now, before the pandemic and stuff, I used to travel a whole lot more. I'm just starting to get back into traveling and stuff now with things going on. I can take this radio with me and I don't need to take a power supply. All I need is a micro USB cable to plug into a USB charger and I'm done. And so I can usually just plug this in at the hotel and have it charge up. And I've done that many times just doing, car travels and stuff. So that's the great thing about it. I know of no other radio on the market right now other than maybe the X6100. I can't remember if it does this. No, it doesn't do this, I don't think. I don't think it can charge off of a USB. I can't remember. Don't quote me on that. But the IC-705 will charge off of just a USB cable, and it can take you, depending on the amperage and stuff, it can take you maybe like 5 hours or something to charge it. I can't remember exactly. What I normally do is just plug it in overnight, and the next morning it's all charged up and ready to go. So you don't have to take an extra battery, an extra power supply, anything like that along with you. And that's the wonderful thing about it. Kind of to summarize all this, what I really love about the radio is its audio, its performance is just extraordinary, wonderful filtering, great front end on it. I think the front end's probably even a little bit better than the Icom IC-70300. when you're doing CW, it does CW really well. It has all the features you could possibly want in a CW radio, with message memories, more message memories than any of my other field radios. It has all the adjustments, all those things that you would ever want in CW. Same thing with single sideband. You can change the TX EQ and the RX EQ. You can change your compression. You can change all kinds of things about your single sideband signal. Digital modes, oh my goodness, is it amazing for digital modes. And I do use this a lot at the house for digital modes wirelessly. So this radio, not only does it have a built-in GPS, not only does it have built-in Bluetooth for audio, but it also has a built-in Wi-Fi hotspot. And with this program I use on my MacBook Air or my Mac Mini at home, I can directly connect to this radio using its internal hotspot and operate digital modes kind of natively. So if I were here now using FT8 in the field, all I would need was my laptop and this radio right here. I would connect to it wirelessly. It already has a built-in sound card, and I could just sit here and do FT8 with no other cords, just having an antenna hooked up to my radio. I mean, it's just kind of amazing, really. This is truly a 21st century radio. Now, I don't use the 705 as much as I use some of my other radios, and people ask me about that sometimes. That has everything to do with me personally as an operator. I tend to go for smaller, more compact, well, I should say smaller, more simple field radios. Right, so the Elecraft KX2, MTR3B, TR35, radios like that, I tend to grab those, SW3B, because I'm operating CW, I'm operating in the field, and I want something that's lightweight. This is a lightweight radio, and it would work. If it were the only radio I owned, I would be a very happy camper. It can do it all very well. SOTA, POTA, IOTA, home operation, contests, everything. It'll do all that stuff. But I tend not to use it as much because my KX2 is a little smaller, a little lighter, more compact, and slightly more durable. So is my TX500 and some of my other radios. That is probably my main criticism about this radio, is that it has a hard plastic chassis. Now, it is a very high quality hard plastic chassis, to be honest. You know, Icom does a great job sealing these radios. Everything feels great on it. It feels, you know, really well made, very high quality Japanese construction. I do love that. But I do worry in the field if I'm doing a SOTA activation and I've got this sitting up on a rock or something, if it falls off and somehow a rock hits this display, that does worry me a bit. Now, there are a lot of third-party products out there that are cages for this radio. POV was one of the first ones. I notice a lot of people that have that one. There are also, I think, WinCamp and some others, and a lot of 3D printed ones that you can put around this, cages that will protect the radio. I've resisted doing that because, frankly, I take my field radios out in the field and I just kind of don't worry about it too much. But I do protect the 705 a little more than I do my other radios for this very reason. I don't want to put a cage on it because I don't want to bulk it up any more than it already is. It's kind of like a brick, kind of format. And that's great, but I don't use it as much when I do a SOTA activation because that brick format, when I've got it in a padded case in my backpack, it's kind of a little bit bulkier than some of my other radios that are more flat. So that's one of the reasons why personally I choose other radios over the 705. If I didn't own other radios, then I'd never do that. I'd just use a 705. This is a super popular radio. I would say that's probably one of the most popular QRP radios on the market right now. That's general coverage, and even though its price is one of the highest priced, around $1,400 US, it's still a super popular radio. In fact, case in point, a few weeks ago was Field Day, and I used this on Field Day, doing a little QRP Field Day work with my buddy Vlado in 3CZ. We then visited my radio club, the Blue Ridge Amateur Radio Club, had dinner with them, and we went to their field day site. The very first radio I saw sitting up there was an Icom IC-705 operating digital modes. Then Vlado and I visited yet another regional club that evening, the West Cars Club, the Western Carolina Amateur Radio Club, and the very first radio I saw at the very first tent was an Icom IC-705. These are very, very popular radios, and I can see why. They really do a great job. And the audio is so incredibly pleasant that when I'm doing an activation and one of these videos, the audio is so kind of clean and good fidelity for these modes that I never worry about the audio not being good enough. So yeah, you can see a lot of things here, and I'm seeing spurs coming off of one of these operators that doesn't have a very clean transmitter. That's one of the great things about having a spectrum display in the field. I don't feel like I need a spectrum display in the field either, but they're kind of nice. Like while I've been sitting here talking, I can look around and find, you know, free frequencies and things just sitting here, and that's kind of a nice thing to be able to do. Now, let's go ahead and get this activation started, shall we? I actually have to move on here in a little bit, so I've been talking so much. Let's hop on the bands and see what we can find out. Let me get my Hammers app set up real quick. I'm also going to put on the keyer here so I can start doing my automatic CQs. Okay, I'm going to set up my Hammers app. Oh no, wait, where are we? We are at K dash, oh my goodness, what is this? 2753, I think? I'll have to double check that. It doesn't really matter what I put in the file name anymore. They don't really care anymore, but I still use the same file format because I like it. There we go. Now, Hammers will tell me. Is it K2753? South Mountain State Park. Yeah, I was right. Good. We'll start on the 20 meter band because the 20 meter band looks pretty good right now. I'm going to put KX2 in here to hold my place. And let's send a QR. By the way, this is one of the coolest paddles besides the SP4 that CW Morse has. This is a CNC machine paddle. I really love this one because I can be really rough slapping around a key, and this one can take it. Let's go for that again. Hopefully, I'll get auto spotted. Oh no, there is somebody nearby there. I'm going to move away. They must be waiting for somebody because I'm not hearing anything there. I don't even know that they heard me, to be honest. I've got the filter fairly wide right now. Okay, let's see here, 20 meter CW, and it's 1400 hours. I really can't do a whole lot more than 10 probably here. I probably need to leave here in about 25 minutes. I spent way too much time putting up the antenna and doing stuff this time, but that's fun. Let's hope that the propagation's kind enough to me now to let me finish this. Oh yes, good, I'm getting spotted, it looks like. Found a trick. I started putting myself in... Ooh. Oh, he all but disappeared on me. Okay, he came up. Good to hear you, Carl. There we go, so we got 2 down. That 20 meters is not in as good a shape as I thought it was. It's okay, I got plenty of time. We do have flaring going on today and things, and it's just kind of screwing up the bands. I knew that in advance coming out here. I may end up hopping to 40 meters. Take a few photos while we got a quiet time here. Second day in a row I've gotten Joe. Four down, 6 to go to have a valid activation. I'm getting my fingernails so dirty on this table. This thing is just like, I'm pretty sure when I stand up, the seat of my pants are going to be, or the seat of my trousers. Okay, if you're in the UK, you'll laugh about pants. But anyway, the seat of my trousers are going to be like completely covered in this gunk that's on this table. It is so humid today, you can cut this with a knife. Fortunately, it's not crazy hot. Not yet. I came out at a good time of day, actually. I have to go to like 30 meters, 30 meters may be doing pretty well. I've got my T1 antenna tuner in here and I can move to 30 meters. Okay, let's try 40 meters. I'm not seeing much of anything on 40 meters, to be honest, but... Okay, let me switch it to 40 meters here on my logs. Did it on hammers here on the side. You know, I never let propagation stop me from going out and doing an activation, but I have to admit, it really, for a guy like me who, and operators like me who have to squeeze these into their schedule, it can make it problematic if you really want a valid activation each time. We just had a discussion about this really on the website today. If you ever do a park activation and you don't quite complete the activation, you don't get your 10, go ahead and upload your logs because the hunters, of course, can get credit for it. People, I think, worry a little too much. Well, first of all, I think a lot of people don't understand that you upload your logs even if you don't validate your activation. As long as you got one contact, you go ahead and upload your logs. I know of a lot of people who've contacted me over the years assuming that if in the POTA network, if you didn't get a valid activation, you're not supposed to upload your logs because it didn't count. Gotcha. Ooh, good signal. Georgia, nice. Oh, F. Okay, I need to fix this in the logs real quick. Someone's trying to call me right now, but maybe I can get this done really quickly. TFE. Okay, wait, I hear him. Save. Nice call sign, K4HF. Oh, K8. Just disappeared on me. Try one more time here. Nope, can't get him. Okay. I suspect I faded on him. This is number 10 for me, so I'm good on my activation now. I'll go for maybe 5 more minutes. Sorry, I'm trying to get all the ants and stuff off of me. I got something crawling on my neck. A lot of bugs out today. It's good bug weather. Okay, we may just go at 10 contacts here. We'll see how this pans out, but I'm not going to move the frequencies again. Okay. We had Good. Okay, good. Nice signal out of Tennessee. Well, I can't hear them. Boy. I can't hear you. One more time. You just disappeared on me. Okay. Okay, wait. A whole bunch of people came back, but I had that thing way too loud trying to listen to AB3GB. I'm sorry I didn't get you. Whoops. Okay. Okay, wait. There we go. You hear me, Mike? Gotcha. He's got me about as... He's coming up, though. I gotta go ahead and turn it off. I don't want anybody else to come in because I really need to pack up. I need to pack up in about 7 minutes, kind of get things going. This was a lot of fun. Okay, you know what I will do though? I need to take a picture on the 40-meter band for my, and I want to take a picture of my logs for the blog post. So let's turn this off. 15 logged. That's not bad at all. The bands were a little bit better than I thought they would be. Get these photos in. And I like to include my photos with my blog posts. And of course, being me, I'm going to show the sausage being made in my videos. You see how I set up things for my blog posts. Because I'm not going to edit this out. Okay, let's put things up really quickly here. So here we go. Let's detach that. Now the radio is ready to go. This is another thing about the 705 is it's kind of self-contained. Other than not having an ATU, which a lot of people criticized it for, I didn't worry too much about the ATU, to be honest. I'm quite happy using an antenna like this, a 40-meter end-fed half-wave, or another resonant antenna, maybe a 20-meter end-fed half-wave, or a dipole, or a doublet, or something. Or using an external antenna tuner, so I don't worry too much about the fact that it doesn't have a... Do I already have a cord in here for this? No, I don't. That one came from here. This is my accessory pack for the 705, which I keep in this ape case. That's done. And now let's put up the key. Put up my logs. Log place. I'll keep the camera out as I do this. Okay, now we'll just go ahead and put up the antenna real quick. I'll take a picture before I do it though. There we go. Whoops. I dropped my glasses so many times in the field. Here's my feed line. Now I'll just simply gather up the rest of this. I've got to take the pressure off the end of this line. Let's put up the antenna now. I'll just wind this antenna on my hand like this. I just use this, my hand as the winder. And yeah, it's maybe not quite as convenient when you're putting it up, but I find it's about as fast, but it's way faster when I deploy it, because I can literally just kind of throw the line out and it just unravels on its own when you do a figure 8. There we go, take that out. Wrap my Velcro around this bundle, and the antenna is done. You know what, I'll take a picture of the antenna too for my blog. Let's do that. There we go. Okay, put up the antenna. And now I just flake this line back into the box here, which doesn't take very long. And there is my throw line. And we are done. Now all I do, finish zipping up my bag. Normally I'd put my camera back up. I won't do it this time. Just kind of walk out together here. Grab all these things and then take another look around and make sure that we have the all clear, that I haven't left anything behind. Now, this looks good. This looks a lot better than it did when I came here. If I'm going to pat myself on the back, it's just trying to clean this mess up. This isn't typical. Usually it's very clean here. We just had the 4th of July weekend. I suspect some people came out here and just left a bunch of trash when they did, but normally our North Carolina parks are pretty darn clean. This is not the main part of the park, so it probably doesn't get patrolled as much. But so usually when I'm picking up trash, it's just like little bits, not as much as that was. Someone just left a whole bunch of crap there, so happy about that though. Okay, I've got about an hour and 15-minute drive back home now. Ah, it's so pretty today. There's nothing clears the mind better than doing a park activation. I love the sounds of summer in North Carolina. This is one thing I missed when I lived in Europe. So I didn't hear all the insects that I'm used to hearing in the summer here. Cicadas and katydids and crickets, and you usually hear little frogs and things too. I love it. And the birds. They got some wonderful trees here. Yeah, So anyway, thank you so much for joining me today for this kind of really long video with the getting to know you section for the Icom IC-705 again. That's not everything the 705 can do. It's not even a really long, in-depth look at the IC-705. Golly, I could make a 5-video series about that radio. There's so much to it. But I do love it. It's a great radio, and it's a permanent part of my radio collection. Very proud to take it out to the field and use it. So, only one other car here today too. Whoops. Let's unlock my car. If I can hold all this at once. There we go. Put our stuff up. My messy car. I've been driving around this week with about 100 things to do. So thank you again for joining me. And I hope you have a wonderful week ahead. I'd be curious what your thoughts are about the 705. If you own one, what you think about it. If you'd like to own one, and especially really curious what you think about it if you own other radios as well. I always love hearing other people's opinions about things, so be sure to share that in the comments section. As always, thank you so much for joining me. Thank you even more to my Patreon and Coffee Fund supporters. I really appreciate it. It means I get to do more of these videos and put more on QRP.com because it kind of frees up my time to do that. So I really appreciate it. It's a real luxury to be able to do the thing you love so much and share it with everyone. So thank you. And thank you for your kind and constructive comments. Take care of one another out there. And I saw a church sign on the way over here, not even 3 miles from here, and it said, "Love the person in front of you." That's what you should do this week. Do that. Take care. Until next time, 7 3s.